Electromagnetic signals are waves of energy that consist of oscillating electric and magnetic fields. These signals are generated by the movement of charged particles, such as electrons, and can propagate through space or materials. Electromagnetic signals encompass a broad spectrum of frequencies, ranging from extremely low frequencies, ELF, to extremely high frequencies, EHF, including visible light, radio waves, microwaves, and X-rays. In the context of neuroscience and mind control research, electromagnetic signals are of interest due to their potential to interact with the human brain and influence neural activity. The brain itself generates electromagnetic fields through the electrical activity of neurons, and external electromagnetic signals could theoretically modulate this activity. Researchers have explored the effects of electromagnetic signals on the brain through various techniques, such as transcranial magnetic stimulation, TMS, and pulsed electromagnetic field, PEMF, therapy. TMS involves applying brief magnetic pulses to specific regions of the brain to induce changes in neural activity, while PEMF therapy uses electromagnetic fields to treat medical conditions such as depression and chronic pain. In the realm of mind control research, theories have been proposed regarding the use of electromagnetic signals to influence cognition, behavior, and consciousness remotely. However, the scientific evidence supporting such claims is limited, and the feasibility of manipulating the human brain using electromagnetic signals alone remains a topic of debate. Here is a small list of mind control programs conducted by the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance. Operation Paperclip, 1945 to 1959, conducted by the United States. Operation Paperclip recruited German scientists, including those involved in Nazi mind control experiments, to work on American projects, potentially influencing subsequent research in this field. Project Chatter, 1950s, conducted by the U.S. Navy. Project Chatter investigated the potential use of drugs, including scopolamine and mescaline, for interrogation and mind control purposes. Project Bluebird, 1950s, a precursor to 𝗚𝗏𝗄. Project Bluebird focused on behavior modification and interrogation techniques using drugs, hypnosis, and other methods. Project Bluebird, 1950s. Separate from the Project Bluebird mentioned earlier, this Canadian project explored methods of controlling human behavior, including the use of drugs and hypnosis. Project Sleeping Beauty, 1950s, a U.S. Army project investigating the use of hypnosis and drugs, including LSD, for interrogation and mind control purposes. Sleeping Beauty also explored the use of hypnotic techniques and drugs to induce a trance-like state in subjects for interrogation and manipulation. Project Artichoke, 1951 to 1956, another precursor to 𝗚𝗏𝗄. Project Artichoke aimed to develop interrogation and mind control techniques, including hypnosis, drugs, and psychological manipulation. Project Mockingbird, 1951 to 1976, conducted by the CIA. Mockingbird aimed to manipulate the media for propaganda and psychological warfare purposes, potentially influencing public opinion and perception. 𝗚𝗏𝗄, 1950s to 1970s. 𝗚𝗏𝗄 was a CIA program that aimed to develop techniques for mind control and interrogation. It involved experiments with drugs such as LSD, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and behavioral modification techniques. Project MKDLTA, 1950s to 1970s, another CIA project exploring the use of chemical, biological, and radiological materials for behavioral modification and mind control purposes. Operation Midnight Climax, 1950s to 1960s, a subproject of 𝗚𝗏𝗄. Operation Midnight Climax involved the use of prostitutes to lure unsuspecting individuals to CIA safe houses where they were secretly drugged and monitored to study the effects of LSD and other drugs on behavior. Project Bizarre, 1952 to 1954, part of 𝗚𝗏𝗄. Project Bizarre investigated the use of electroconvulsive therapy, ECT, and other techniques to induce amnesia and alter personality traits. Project Moonstruck, 1952 to 1974, a CIA program focused on the development of remote mind control techniques using radio waves and other forms of electromagnetic radiation. Project Brewster, 1953 to 1958, conducted by the CIA. Brewster aimed to develop techniques for covertly administering drugs and chemicals to unwitting subjects for interrogation and mind control purposes. Project Gondola Wish, 1953 to 1966, a subproject of 𝗬𝗀𝗋𝗃. Gondola Wish focused on the development of mind control techniques using electroencephalography, e.g., and other neurophysiological methods. Project Castigate, 1953 to 1973, a CIA program aimed at developing psychological and pharmacological methods for coercion, including interrogation techniques and behavioral modification. Project 𝗧𝗿𝗱𝗶𝘁𝗶𝗴𝗲, 1953 to 1973, part of 𝗬𝗀𝗋𝗃. Project 𝗧𝗿𝗱𝗶𝗁 investigated the use of hypnosis, drugs, and sensory deprivation to induce amnesia and alter behavior. Project Cerebro, 1955 to 1960, a joint CIA and NSA program aimed at developing techniques for remote neural monitoring and manipulation using electromagnetic signals. Project Spellbinder, 1959 to 1962, a subset of 𝗬𝗀𝗋𝗃. Project Spellbinder investigated the potential use of drugs, hypnosis, and sensory deprivation to induce amnesia and alter personality. Project Pandora, 1950s to 1960s, conducted by the U.S. Navy. Project Pandora explored the use of microwaves to transmit sounds directly into the human brain, potentially enabling remote mind control and psychological warfare. Project 𝗬𝗀-Naomi, 1950s to 1970s, a sister project to 𝗬𝗀𝗋𝗃, focusing on the development of biological and chemical agents for assassination, mind control, and covert operations. Project 𝗬𝗏𝗃, 1960s, conducted by the U.S. Army Intelligence and Security Command, INSCOM. Project 𝗬𝗏𝗃 investigated the potential use of electronic means to influence human behavior, including the transmission of subliminal messages. Project Thought Crime, 1961 to 1967, a classified DARPA initiative focused on researching methods for detecting and influencing thought patterns and cognitive processes through advanced surveillance and neurotechnology. Project 𝗬𝗚-Search, 1964 to 1972, another follow-up program to 𝗬𝗚𝗋𝗃. 𝗬𝗚-Search focused on the development of new drugs and technologies for mind control and interrogation. Project Third Eye, 1964 to 1966, focusing on the development of drugs and techniques for enhancing psychic abilities and remote viewing. Project Talent, 1965 to 1973, initiated by the U.S. Army Intelligence Command. Talent focused on the development of psychic abilities for intelligence gathering and operational purposes. Project Trojan Horse, 1966 to 1972, initiated by the U.S. Army Intelligence and Security Command. This project investigated the use of psychoactive drugs and behavioral modification techniques for counterinsurgency operations. Project Often, 1966 to 1972, a subset of 𝗬𝗀𝗋𝗃. Project Often investigated the use of occult and esoteric practices, including black magic and witchcraft, for mind control and psychological warfare purposes. Project 𝗬𝗀-Often, 1966 to 1972, another subset of 𝗬𝗀𝗋𝗃. Project 𝗬𝗀-Often explored the use of psychoactive drugs and chemicals for mind control purposes. Project Psionics, 1968 to 1974, a CIA-funded program exploring the potential of psychic phenomena for intelligence gathering and psychological warfare, including telepathy and remote viewing. Project Human Consciousness, 1969 to 1975, a CIA program that investigated the physiological and psychological effects of various mind-altering substances, including LSD and mescaline. Project Sunstreak, 1970s, a CIA program focused on researching the potential use of psychoactive drugs for interrogation and intelligence purposes. Project Third Chance, 1971 to 1972, a subset of 𝗬𝗀𝗋𝗃. Project Third Chance explored the potential use of hypnosis, drugs, and sensory deprivation to enhance memory retention and cognitive abilities. Project Montauk, 1971 to 1983, alleged experiments conducted at Camp Hero, Long Island, exploring mind control, time travel, and interdimensional travel using advanced technology and psychic abilities. Project Mindgate, 1975 to 1981, a continuation of 𝗬𝗀𝗋𝗃. Mindgate investigated the use of mind control techniques for counterintelligence operations and covert influence campaigns. Project 𝗧𝗿𝗱𝗱𝗶𝘁𝗶, 1975–1983, a classified CIA program aimed at developing advanced psychological warfare techniques, including manipulation of perception and belief systems. Project Clean Sweep, 1977–1978, a U.S. Navy project exploring the use of electromagnetic radiation for behavioral modification and mind control, including potential applications for crowd control and interrogation. Project Stargate, 1978–1995, conducted by the U.S. Army. Project Stargate investigated the potential for psychic phenomena, such as remote viewing and telepathy, for intelligence gathering and military applications. Project Skenaite, 1970s, a subset of Project Stargate. Project Skenaite focused on remote viewing and psychic espionage. Project Grill Flame, 1978–1985, another subset of Project Stargate. Project Grill Flame explored the use of remote viewing for intelligence gathering purposes. Project Woodpecker, late 1970s to 1980s, a Soviet Union project involving the transmission of electromagnetic signals for potential mind control or weather manipulation purposes. Project Center Lane, 1970s to 1980s, conducted by the CIA. Project Center Lane investigated the potential use of electromagnetic signals for remote mind control and behavioral modification. Project Dreamland, 1980s to 1990s, a DARPA initiative that investigated the use of virtual reality and immersive technology for psychological manipulation and training. Project Brainwave, 1982 to 1988, a collaboration between the military and academic institutions to develop brain-computer interface technology for enhancing cognitive abilities and controlling electronic devices with the mind. Project Monarch, 1950s present, allegedly a continuation of MKUltra. Project Monarch purportedly involves the use of trauma-based mind control techniques, including torture and psychological manipulation. Project Blue Beam, 1990s present, an alleged program that includes intergovernmental agencies. It is claimed NASA and other government agencies plan to simulate a global alien invasion or religious event using holographic technology and other means to control and manipulate populations. Project Mindscape, 1990s, a joint research effort between the CIA and academic institutions to study the effects of technology on consciousness and perception. Project Neuroscape, 1990 to 1996, a classified research effort led by the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, to study the neurocorrelates of consciousness and develop methods for manipulating neural activity. Project Thought Vector, 1997 to 2003, a covert NSA program focused on analyzing and deciphering brainwave patterns to extract information about individuals' thoughts, emotions, and intentions. Project Neurotech, 2000s, a classified DARPA program focused on developing brain-computer interface technology for military and intelligence applications, including cognitive enhancement and mind control. Project Synapse, 2004-2010, a research initiative funded by the National Institutes of Health, NIH, to study the neural mechanisms underlying memory formation and cognitive processes, with potential implications for mind control. Aimed to develop more advanced neurotechnologies for brain-computer interface applications, including enhanced sensory perception and cognitive augmentation. Project Psychonaut, 2020, is a collaborative effort between government agencies and private research institutions to explore the intersection of neuroscience, artificial intelligence, and consciousness manipulation. HAARP, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, allegedly a research program jointly funded by the U.S. Air Force, Navy, and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, to study and manipulate the ionosphere for military purposes, including weather control and mind control. These programs represent only a portion of the extensive research and experimentation conducted by the Five Eyes intelligence agencies into mind control, psychological warfare, and unconventional methods of interrogation and intelligence gathering. Many details of these programs remain classified, and their full extent may never be fully known.